right. Good morning, Deacon. How are you?
Excellent. I'm not Deacon today. I'm Kumquat.
Good morning, Kumquat. How are you?
I'm good, Eggplant. How are you?
You're
You
gonna
may
have to
be
explain
asking
this one
yourself.
to me.
You may be asking yourself, Deacon, why are we called Kumquat and Eggplant?
Oh, yeah. That
Because
makes sense.
there's some crazy names in this world. Did you ever think about naming your child a fruit or a vegetable?
It never occurred to me. I like the fact that Kanye West named his kid Northwest because that way you
No.
tell your kid the direction they should always go in their life.
Right. And celebrities do that. So I figured we could officially change our names for the show today. I can be Kumquat, you can be Eggplant, in honor of the wonderful decision that Chris Martin and his wife, Gwyneth Paltrow, made years
Oh,
ago when they named their child Apple. They have Apple and
ah.
Moses. So I figured today we could be Apple is just kind of a
I
generic.
mean,
If I was going to name my kid a fruit or a vegetable, it sure
right.
as shit wouldn't be apple. I mean, apples are ever kumquats are. Have you ever had a kumquat before? They're
I
very
can't even.
good.
I cannot even tell you what a kumquat looks
It's
like.
a little citrus. It looks like a lemon, but it's an orange. It's a little citrus. So they're very good. They're very good for you. They're used in all kinds of
Uh,
stuff. Eggplants are good for you if you take them and cook, and if you slice an eggplant, you can cook it like a steak, and it's so good. So yeah. So we'll pick some good vegetables and fruits today.
Here, I've always felt a little bit artistic, a little bit. I got some of that. I'm a kind of a
You're a very good artist.
I mean, analytics is definitely a big part of it, but I've always been kind of, and I have some artistic inclinations. And, I remember when I was young that, Prince changed his name from Prince to the
The
kind of
symbol.
unique Ankh.
Yeah, the
And then,
symbol. Yeah.
everybody just called him the formerly
I
known.
worked in radio at that time. We didn't know what to do. We
Right.
didn't know what to do. So that's why everybody started calling him the artist formerly known as Prince, because we didn't know whether to call him the symbol. We couldn't call him the art, ex
Right.
Prince. So yeah.
There's nothing that says don't even talk about me more than changing your name to something that you can't pronounce.
You know, there's a fine line between there's a money line. There's somewhere on that money line. You acquire at some point you acquire so much money that your
Mhm.
activities become batshit crazy to eccentric.
Mhm.
You're
I
not
think
batshit crazy anymore. You're eccentric.
well, what do you do when you have success and you have resources and you're like, well, my first crazy idea worked. Let's go farther. And you just keep going farther and some people they just succeed no matter what. It doesn't make sense. And they're
Hi,
like, I don't know.
everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
We
Welcome
went
back,
off on a
everybody.
tangent.
I am Eggplant. That is Come Quiet. And we are here every morning to drink coffee, talk news, talk stories, talk what's happening in the media. We are your two dads. And we're here. Ooh,
And the
uh,
story today, the big story I've been waiting for like 30 minutes now is the Gwyneth. Let's get to the Gwyneth Paltrow crap. What the crap
so
is going on?
so here's the thing. I was making a gag for today's show that wasn't Gwyneth Paltrow. I forgot to open all the stories. So can you
Oh
can
no.
you pre- can you fill fill a minute while I go grab them?
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate everybody joining us here. I've noticed on our Discord server, our Funslingers Discord server, that there's been several people dropping in
Yeah.
and joining. So if you would like to join our Funslingers Discord server, it's there or somewhere.
It's in the description.
Yeah,
Go
it's in
look
the
in the
description,
description
so you can find it.
if you
And
can read. I'm
There's a
not
bunch of us
saying
over
you
there.
can't read.
Right. There's a bunch of us over there that are of similar mindset, but there's some people over there that kind of disagree with some of the other people's topics, and we don't get nasty at all. If we're going to get nasty, we'll probably kick you out, to be honest. And if I get
Mhm.
nasty sometimes
Haven't
on the
had to
show,
kick
some
anybody
people
in.
put me in my place. So I mean, yeah, we want to have a good discussions and logical discussions between people that don't agree on everything, because that's what we need to do in this country. We don't need to just have one side completely saying stuff all the time. We have to have good discussions. And Mr. E's put me in my place with some of the stuff that he said before, but some of the stuff that he posted is just whacked out crazy shit. So so come on and join our server and hang out with us on the Discord server. All right, you got the story up?
All right. Yeah, I got it. And I'm also going to pull this up. So for those of you that haven't already, where did you go? I lost you. There you are. Today's episode title is, oh, that's the wrong one. Here it is.
It's professional.
Here we go. Yeah. Goop-siedaisy. Paltrow caused brain damage. That's today's episode. Now, I know you're probably thinking, hey, JJ, what about Trump? What about Trump? Trump's chilling at his house. He ain't indicted yet. What am I supposed to do?
I know
about
that's
that?
what I posted.
So
I posted in the general chat this morning. I was like, I didn't even get my ballerina outfit and shoes out of storage because I knew I would not be dancing like a ballerina on today's show.
I don't know. But JJ, but Trump indictment, it's the most important thing. Okay, fine. Here, we have a mainstream media Trump indictment watch while we'll do the...
just keep that up.
Yeah.
Do we need a ticker on when Trump's going to
get... This is my favorite part. Well, I can't do a ticker. We don't have ticker technology over here.
Crap. Okay. That's great. That's really good. You put a lot of work into that.
I did.
It was background removal
5 minutes on that. Oh, yeah.
It was what? Yeah, 3 minutes. Oh, that's great.
All right. So here we go. Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow. You remember her from Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3.
Okay, so before we get into this, we know Gwyneth Paltrow because we are 45-year-old, 46-year-old men. Okay, so we know who she is. But
big into go. I'm sorry. Let you finish.
I was just sitting here thinking earlier. I was like, okay, what all movies has Gwyneth Paltrow been in? Because I can remember like Shallow Hal and Avengers, and I started thinking, I was like, okay, what else has she been in? Because I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. So I'm sitting here going through here, and I'm like, oh yeah, Sky Captain in the World Tomorrow. That was interesting, and then I was like,
wow, that was like so long ago.
Yeah, 2004. I was like, Goldmember? She was in Austin Powers? I was like, okay, I don't remember that. And then I'm looking through and I'm like, I didn't watch Shakespeare in Love. I didn't watch The Pallbearer. I watched Seven.
Actually a celebrity?
7. She was in Seven, and she was in Hook with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good question. Is she really a celebrity? How did she get famous? Because she hadn't been in shit.
How did this happen? Who's in charge of this shit? What did you guys do?
Why? What were we just so blind in the freaking?
We'll take anything. We'll take
that we were all through the early 90s. We're just like, oh, okay, yeah, she's pretty. Put her up there. Meg Ryan, sure, put her up there. She's. Who's the other one? Renee Zellweger. Renee Zellweger, sure, put her in a bunch of movies. She's stunning.
She has all of her teeth. Put her on screen. Whoa.
So all right. Gwyneth Paltrow has she's been in Iron Man and the Avengers.
Oh, hold on. Now maybe you're not familiar with her from movies, Deacon.
Well,
maybe you're familiar with her because she's the CEO of Goop, and maybe you spend a lot of time looking for like magic rocks to put in your vagina.
I do worry about my vagina quite a bit.
I might be worrying over.
Yeah, I do worry about my vagina quite a bit. So I pay a lot of attention to Gwyneth Paltrow. And I love Coldplay. You can tell that I'm a big, huge Coldplay fan.
Right. Okay. Well, it turns out that Gwyneth Paltrow has shown disregard for people in a ski accident. So
did she cause the ski accident, or she just like show disregard?
She has an Academy Award for what?
Shallow Hal.
What does she have an Academy
Award? Shallow Hal. Have you never seen Shallow Hal? It was an amazing piece of work. Yeah, it's probably honestly it's probably.
No, I've seen Shallow Hal. You couldn't make Shallow Hal now. You couldn't make that now.
You're fat shaming. Yeah, you're absolutely fat
Mm-mm.
shaming. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
absolutely. Okay.
Academy
So
Award winning actress Gwyneth Paltrow showed showed conscious disregard for people, and it led in when she ran into
mm,
a retired optometrist on the ski slopes. Literally ran down. Now, my understanding is that her and her family are on the ski slopes, and she's not exactly on the pro slopes. She's just on like the intermediate or whatever. And she was so now I've never been skiing,
no,
Deacon, and maybe you
no,
have, and you can correct
no.
me on this. You stand on two slick pieces of wood and you fall down a fucking mountain.
From my
Right? Isn't that how it
understanding,
works?
the wood that you strap on your feet is also slicked with wax, so that you go faster.
Yeah.
So that's
Right.
that's my understanding.
It's
I've never
kind of
done it
like
myself, but
right. I mean, I would expect that if there's people on the mountain in the way, there's a greater than 0% chance you
there
would
is
hit them.
there one of my
Or if you're standing on the mountain, go
one of my
ahead.
favorite lines from a movie ever fits right now, right here from what you just said. I will never be able to use this line again ever. But Curtis
Yeah.
Armstrong, the guy that played Booger in the Nerds movies, his name's Curtis
Oh yeah.
Armstrong. He was in this movie with John
Yeah.
Cusack called Better Off Dead. All right. Did you see Better Off Dead? An 80s movie called Better Off Dead, John Cusack, Curtis Armstrong,
I don't
whatnot.
I
So
don't know
he's
if I
a his
did.
name is Lane and he's a skier and whatnot. So Curtis, they're up on this mountain and he's giving him advice on how to ski. And he says, go that way really fast. If something gets in your way, turn. That's the best piece of advice for skiing.
Right.
Go that way really fast. If something gets in your way,
Right.
turn. Sorry, you said that. That was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I have to
Okay.
use that line. Sorry.
So Gwyneth Paltrow is coming down the mountain, and apparently she plows into some dude named Sanderson.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Dr. Terry Sanderson, and and then she like I continued down the mountain. I don't know. Maybe he was moving too. Maybe he was standing still. I'm not sure about the circumstances. What I do know is that if you hit someone halfway down a mountain, you probably don't stay where you're at on the mountain. You probably are like, oh, this is bad. You're hurt. I'm hurt. Let's get to safety and talk about it. And so
Or if she's not a
maybe I
professional
don't.
skier,
That's just how what I assume.
she's not a professional
Right? Yeah.
skier
Maybe she'd
and
be
she
like,
hit them and she couldn't stop herself. I'm not trying to take up for the crazy bitch, but
right.
I'm trying to put
Yeah. I mean,
logic in
there's a lot of
these thoughts.
there's a lot of things that make sense in this
There's a lot of
scenario.
things that are not being told here.
As
Yeah.
aside from the fact that you intentionally aimed yourself down a mountain. All right. So
And honestly,
so
all this
Dr. T
no, go ahead. No, go ahead. I was gonna get off topic. Go ahead.
well, okay. So she's rich and famous and he's a retired doctor. So what do you think happens when he gets hit by a rich famous person? He's suing her.
Ooh.
Apparently one of the things he said is he like saw who hit him and he was like I think one of the quote here is that he said, "I'm famous," as in I'm famous because I
I
just
just
got
got
hit
hit
by
by
Gwyneth
yeah,
Paltrow
and
with
honestly,
a gold train.
you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Yeah. And
Not to, I mean,
even if
honestly,
she would
like
have stopped and helped and tried to render aid and do everything that she could have done, he would have probably still sued her because the motherfuckers sue people for giving them
oh yeah,
chest
of course,
compressions and stuff. You know, if somebody was to drop dead
right?
beside me and I was trained to do that CPR,
Oh no,
I'm
let me
not
help
trained
you.
anymore. I have been 3 or 4 times in my life, but it has been years.
Right,
But if I were trying to help them save their life and I broke some ribs and they sued me, I would be the maddest motherfucker.
right.
Can you believe the audacity of some freaking people?
Like I should have
Yeah, I
spit
should have
on
sat
you.
there and
Like what do
watched
you
you
mean?
die
What are you suing me
instead.
for?
Yeah. There's 8 billion people in the world. Right?
Now, I mean, first of all, is there any reality in which Gwyneth Paltrow was like, "I'm angry and I don't like that stranger. I think I'm gonna hit him as
No,
hard as I can and
no,
cause
she's a
brain damage."
crazy hippie.
That doesn't make
She
sense.
doesn't hate anybody. She loves
More like she would have been like, "Let's take our shoes off and walk
Exactly.
barefoot in the
Gwyneth
snow and put
Paltrow loves
rocks in our
everything. She
vaginas."
loves the bacteria in her own feces. She doesn't want it to be destroyed. She's that kind of crazy. All right.
Right.
She's
Sanderson,
go ahead.
69, is accusing brain damage, permanent brain damage, after she plowed into him at Deer Valley Resort. The former Army optometrist is seeking $300,000 in damages from the Goop founder. Okay, that's the that's the thing you need to know of going on here. And here's look at
No,
Gwen.
they threw that
He's
in
sad.
there. They threw that
He's
line, and
sad.
I'm not trying. Once again, I'm not trying to take up for Gwyneth Paltrow because I think she's a little crazy. All right, I'm not. I don't think she's batshit crazy, but I think she's a little crazy. But I'm not trying to take up for her. I'm just trying to make things fair where it needs to be fair. That they should not have put that line in there, the Goop founder, because all that does is disparages your thinking to Gwyneth Paltrow.
You think so?
You remember, oh yeah, Goop, and you automatic that's a negative connotation to your thinking for her. The news does that quite a bit that the normal people don't see that other people, some people pick up on, and they can use keywords and code words and news positioning, how I position the news against other news stories in order to influence your mind and kind of brainwash you to thinking a certain way, to push your brain into thinking a certain way. And that's a shit word that they use there, the Goop founder. Yeah, Goop
So
crazy, and she
th-
was crazy, but whatever.
they also did this right here. They said the attorney Sanderson is suing Paltrow over the February 26th hit and run crash. I mean, that's the framing of like, I mean, that is a loaded term that usually means you hit your car with my car and I took off so that I wouldn't get caught.
Yeah.
It sounds like she was rolling down the mountain and bumped into him, knocked him down, and be like, "You all right, bro? Because like we're in danger right here. You
And
could get hit by somebody."
and where did this come from, and how high is it NewsGuard certified? Since we have picked
Oh,
2 things out of this
uh,
story so far that show
right.
you that it's leaning towards one
This
way.
is yeah. This is from New York Post. This is
From the
69 and a
New York
half.
Post. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah,
That just
right.
goes to show you that
Legit
these things
news.
aren't reliable news
Yeah.
sources. Nothing is anymore. Nothing is reliable. And she
Looks like
just
Trump
come
is
out
breaking
like,
out.
she was on some podcast a couple of weeks ago or a month ago or something, and she was talking about her daily diet, and everybody kind of went nuts on her for her little daily diet that she does.
Oh,
Gwyneth Paltrow.
really? I have no idea. Do you know something about
She
this?
like she like fasted until noon, and then she ate like bone broth, and then she ate like something else at night, the vegan type stuff at night, in order to. And I remember it was like in order to complete her detox or to keep her detox up. And I was thinking, from fucking what tox do you have in your body? What toxins do you, Gwyneth Paltrow, have in your body at this point? Because I'm pretty sure we were given and created a liver for a fucking reason. Because the
Right.
shit that we eat sometimes has toxins in it. That's the whole purpose of the fucking thing in your body. You don't have to do it.
Let's see.
So,
Let me check real quick. Hold on. We're gonna check real quick and see if Donald Trump has been
has he been
arrested
arrested
yet.
yet?
And no,
Nothing up
he's
there?
not been
Okay.
arrested yet.
All right.
That's
Well,
not there. So
no.
let's just check. Guys, we're on top of this. We are on top of this. Don't worry, Mr. E. As soon as he gets arrested, I'm gonna text you and be like, "You got him." Hey, why? Oh, we should just call each other. We should have called each other, Deacon.
Should have just called each other this morning.
All right.
What else you got,
Let's
buddy?
see. Okay, let's talk about this. Where did it go?
Here you go. I'm gonna go get my coffee
My-
real quick. I was late making my
my
coffee today.
browser's
I
stuck.
got busy.
So we'll stay on Donald Trump for just a second. Metaphorically, although visually also. We'll stay on Donald Trump for just a second. Deacon, there was a protest yesterday. There were protesters out in New York City, and they were protesting against Trump. They want him to be arrested. Trump is over. No more Trump. No more Trump, right? protests. Here, I've got it right here. I've got the
It
protest.
was that
And
was in New York City. There was thousands of
oh,
people. I
I
mean,
mean,
in
well,
New York City, and
there's
they
8 million.
I mean, it was a huge.
There's 8 million people in New York City. I
Yeah,
mean, you better have the expectation that this protest was enormous.
absolutely.
Let's get it. We got footage. Here it is. It's
All
coming
right.
in.
How
Here
many
we
news
go.
stations? Like 20?
I don't know. We'll see if we can find out here. There's a protest.
Can you make that bigger?
Yeah. Let me
Figure out an exposure.
Here we
There's
go.
is that here in my hometown here in
No,
Kentucky?
these are not protesters over here. There's one right there, right there. This is a protester.
Yeah.
And here's a protester. I think this guy's just a bystander. Actually, I don't
Oh
think he's actually
shit.
protesting.
So you mean two old gay guys in New York are mad?
Yeah, you're mad. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
go.
that's
Let's
some
get
Bob
him.
Dylan thing.
Let's get Trump. You can
Trump
see
is
that
over.
there's like every news station. Where's
No
look at
one,
this.
no one is above the law. Ugh,
It's a
bitch.
slow news day in New York.
No one is above the law, bitch.
No
Yeah,
one.
you hear that? No one. Not Bill Clinton when he paid off Paula
No.
Jones. That motherfucker wasn't above
No.
the law, was he? Huh?
No way. No.
The only reason I named that one is because that was the latest meme that was put. I've seen a bunch of those though. I mean, naming Hillary and Joe and all these fucking Nancy Pelosi and all these motherfuckers that have done shit that we know about that we don't say a fucking word, but goddamn Trump does something in Jesus.
Yeah. Trump.
World
Get him.
explode.
Can't have it.
God damn. This should just further my point that I have made on this show a dozen times that Trump is a marionette and we are a bunch of children watching a puppet show. Is only thing that's happened. We are not paying attention to the puppeteers doing all the work in the background, moving the show around and moving the stage around and moving the setting and moving the story around. We are sitting there eating our popcorn, watching the show like a bunch of little fucking kids.
Well, what are we supposed to be doing? What are we
We're
supposed
to be pulling back the fucking curtain. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Fuck that shit. What are you doing back there?
Hold on. No, you're saying something important there.
Trump is the only. I mean, God, I've said this a million times. He's the one person in this. Name one other person in this world that you can show their picture and piss off 150 million people and make 150 million people cheer. Not that many, but I'm using
81 million. 81
right.
million. 81 million.
Name one other person, not in history, but you can name
not in history. You gotta take Hitler out.
I mean, you can name.
You can leave in Che Guevara because the lefties.
There's people all through history that's been able to do that. He's just one right now that I mean, if I wanted a distraction for anything, I'm using Donald Trump. And don't think that if I went, hey, Donald Trump, I'll give you $1 billion.
Carrie Lake. No. I love Carrie Lake. I think Carrie Lake is great. Why are you talking about Carrie Lake, bro? Jeremy says Carrie Lake is nearing.
No.
Where's that?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
She's making people in Arizona upset. People in power.
I don't give two shits about Carrie Lake.
I mean,
that's all I'm getting at. Trump is just we're just marionettes, and we just keep watching the show.
Look at this.
We're really not paying attention to what's going on in the background.
I'm gonna just say this. Brian showed me this yesterday. I was like, "Is this fake?" No, this is real. This is a bunch of helicopters landing troops in New York City in anticipation of the riot of arresting Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not in New York City. He's not there. What are you people doing, you lunatics? This is just absolutely crazy.
For a fucking lunacy city to go lunacy.
Whatever. You guys can have it. And let's see. I think I mean like let's look at all the. Let's see. 1, 2. There probably are 30 reporters there on this video. Okay, I got one more thing, Trump, and mostly it's this. I saw this story on Breitbart. Trump sees another boost amid rumors of looming arrest. So, there's been a bunch of polls, especially as like, is Trump going to run? Is DeSantis going to run? Is DeSantis running a shadow campaign? Is, who's going to be the Republican nominee? And I just don't care what the polls say at all. It's not like I think it's going to be Trump. It's just like, I just don't think the polls mean anything right now. But check out this totally badass flag. I'm going to put Trump out of the way for a second. Trump, would you mind? Excuse me, sir. Can you look at this flag? Look at this flag. This flag is dope. It says, I can't read that part, but it says Trump, law and order, the right to keep and bear arms. It's pretty awesome. So people on the side of the road are just randomly parading in favor of Trump at some point. I guess I should point out that this fella here has a
JJ
sunburn in a red hat.
I started to say he's got a real bad sunburn. That white guy's got a real bad sunburn, don't he?
Yeah.
Because I was just noticing at the top of the page over there's the white lady that said that she was black and got in trouble for saying because she identified as black. Remember her years ago? We forgot about her.
Yeah. She identifies as black.
That's the white woman that identifies as black.
She might be able to if she's living in California pretty soon, she might be able to claim $5 million. You know that.
It's true.
You don't actually have to be black to get the reparations money from California. You only have to identify as black. Oh yeah. Really? Yeah.
Well, shit.
But you do have to live in California for like 10 years or something. I don't know. There's a bunch of criteria. And
I don't want to visit to California.
You only have to match like 2 of the criteria. It's like you can identify as black and have a family member or relative that was incarcerated at some point. You're like, isn't that like everybody?
I take that back. I would like to visit California. That is on my bucket list. I really would like to see a redwood tree, a giant redwood before. I would love to go through there and go through that one tree that's got the tunnel in it, the road that goes through. It hurts my soul when I see those pictures from the 1800s and early 1900s of those people when they cut those huge trees down. I mean, for some reason that just kills me.
Well, those trees were in the way though.
Fuck that shit. Goddamn, I'm gonna fucking slap you through this camera. Dick.
Oh my god. All right. Let's see what else we have this morning.
We know shit about plants. We think we know everything about plants, and we know nothing about plants. They communicate. We know nothing about plants. All right, next story.
Yeah, we got one more here. If you haven't already formed your own opinion about Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we got one more Trump before we got to check.
Yeah, one more
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have somebody here to help you form your opinion.
All
Mike Tyson defends Trump, says, I don't think he should go. Wait, can you do a Mike Tyson? I don't think I can get my picture.
Let me see.
Here's your line right here.
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to impersonate Mike Tyson.
I don't think he should go to jail.
That's good.
I don't
What
think
do you guys think?
To jail.
How do you do a J with the lisp?
Jail.
I can't do that. I'd have
Mike
to
Tyson
practice J's. I'd have to listen to some over the lisp do J's. I don't know how to do that.
I don't know. Mike Tyson he's no longer a violent man. He's a gentle giant. He's a thinker.
Yeah, I don't like making fun. I mean, Mike's got a.
I like Mike.
Got a little. I like Mike too.
Just stay the fuck away from my ears, and we're good.
Mike went through a crazy period, but I mean, yeah, he's really. I think he's from his appearances seem. We talked about this yesterday. He seems like he's tried to turn his life around, and you can't.
He's on a growth track.
If you're going to judge a man by what he done when he was 20, 30 years ago in his past, then we would all be fucking suffering.
For sure, right?
He's trying to turn his life around, and yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you can't.
That's the thing about the digital cult, dude. They don't ever let you get past whatever your sins are. They never.
I was a fucking idiot 25 years ago. God,
they never forgive you. They never forgive you.
Alex and I were talking about something last night, and he said something at night. He was like, "Can I blah 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 at 19 years old?" And I don't remember what he said. And I was like, "Yeah, technically, son, you can, because according to our laws, you are technically an adult at 18." I said, "But let me tell you something that I realized that at 45, 46 years old, that you will realize at 45, 46 years old, is that when you are at 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, you aren't a fucking adult. You're just as green as the grass, man." I was as dumb as shit, and I thought I knew the world. I was told I had 146 IQ, and I freaking knew everything. And I thought I was the smartest person in the fucking world. I didn't know shit, man. I didn't know dick.
My wife occasionally looks over at me and says, "Are you going to trade me in for your younger model?" And I'm like, "What the fuck for? What did I do to you?"
Why?
No way. Do I look like I want problems?
Hell that I want
No.
a 25-year-old
I like you.
woman. No way in hell.
No, they're crazy. All right.
There's no way in hell a 25-year-old woman would want me. Let's get that out of the way first. But I have been through that era in my life, and I do not want to go through it again.
Brian says BP is NewsGuard certified. What's BP? What's BP? Is that a news source? What's BP? You're gonna have to spell it out, because I'm thinking an oil company.
Is he talking about? I've got to talk.
I don't think so. That doesn't make sense. All right. Now I lost my. Here it is. Here we go. We got another story here. And guys, you better sit down for this one, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not already sitting down, you better sit down, or you might have a coronary or something from the shock you're about to receive. According to The Hill, a judge in California says that a law mandating handgun safety features violates the Second Amendment. Can you believe that? A California law that is a federal judge is blocking a California law that would mandate certain safety features for semi-automatic handguns. District Judge Cormac Carney on Monday ruled in favor of the California Rifle and Pistol Association and 4 individuals who said the law violates their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, since no new guns being manufactured complied with it. The plaintiffs noted the gun buyers in California were de facto limited to purchasing models from before 2013, the year the law fully took effect. So, I just can't believe. I don't know why this video is wrong. Can't believe it. Second Amendment violated. Oh, Brian Perkins. Brian Perkins is NewsGuard certified. I see. He's talking about the photo I ran earlier. Okay, so, yep, that's a work for a second. He's very into it. What's up, Andy? Hey. All right. I think Andy wants to talk about Andy.
Hello.
Let's see. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Hey, Deacon, do you like iPhone? You do iPhone? I don't do iPhone.
No, I don't like Apple products, and
No?
get into it. I won't get it. But my kids are the Apple brainwashed. Apple brainwashes the younger generation, and they really do. The younger generation has to have Apple products, has to have those $250. I remember when my kids would. I had to. You know how many of those fucking little Apple iPod bullshit things that I bought, because they lose them and shit. And by God, we had to have the fucking Apple ones, because none of the other fucking ones worked right or did whatever. So I try to convince my kids that any other product other than Apple is the way to go.
But they're old enough. They're old enough. They can just go buy their own stuff, right?
Right. Now they are.
Okay.
And my son's kind of realizing now that my Samsung phone that I have had 3 Samsung phones in 10 years, and it's all because I just wanted to upgrade. 3 phones in 10 years. He's been through 40 fucking phones. Not 40, but
a bunch.
They've been through a bunch.
Your face fell off.
Yeah.
So, I have a follow up question. Do you have a spare $63,000?
Yes, actually, I do. What the hell happened to my
Okay,
camera?
I don't know. Your face fell off. Uh, sh- so this woman left an iPhone, a 2007 iPhone, in its box for 10 years,
Yeah.
still shrink wrapped. Look at this. Oh, with the cookies. Look at that. Still shrink wrapped. Maybe that's hers. And then sold it, I guess, at auction for $63,000. Now I don't even know. Well, it must have had internet and it had apps because it's got some apps there on the
I
front.
think what
The
makes
first
the
one didn't even have apps.
I think what makes the difference in this is that this one was a first generation iPhone 7, and that means something to iPhone users or whatever and whatever. I just saw this story and I thought it was very interesting because that's one of those fucking things that, and honestly, this woman probably, I mean, what is the likelihood that she was a scalper? And she
Like,
had these and she didn't get rid of it and it's got stuck somewhere for a long time. And now this fucking scalper is making bank off this shit that it's something that me and you would have bought and put in a fucking box and forgot and lost and put in the attic and then found it 20 years later and that shit wouldn't have been worth but like 50.
yeah, what is this? I mean, these phones were like $600 back then. They're more now. Like, who's gonna just roll around? I'll just buy one, and then I'll never even open it or use it.
Ha-
Okay, well that's
See,
somebody
that,
that.
that increases
So
the
there's
likelihood that it was a
there's
scalper
two there's two things I can think of. Somebody bought them to sell them, and then didn't sell it for some reason, or somebody found one.
or found one. You're exactly right. Found one. It's like
Found one
the
and didn't want to turn it
a
in.
while ago there was a specific video card that was in high demand for high-end computer users and gamers. There was a specific video card that scalpers were buying and selling at ridiculous freaking prices, and these computer people were buying up, these gamers were buying up these cards. Well, then after the cards flooded the market, all these damn scalpers I saw where these scalpers had like 30 of these fucking boxes of these expensive ass sound cards that they're taking huge losses on. Same way with the PlayStation 5s. When the PlayStation 5s hit, the same thing happened. The scalpers flooded the fucking market with them, raised the fucking prices of this $500-$600 machine to like $2,000 and $3,000 a piece, and people were buying it.
Well,
People
I
were
just don't
paying. You
understand
can go
things.
to Walmart right now and get it for like $400 or $500. And people were paying that much for it just so they could be the first one to have this technology. And I always said I was a video game guy. I was never going to buy. My kids asked me, "We're going to get the PlayStation 5?" And my rule is I don't buy a console, especially a console, right after they're fucking launched. Who does that, man? That's just dumb. Wait at least 6 months to a year because then they've worked out all the fucking bugs. They've did all the little updates that they're going to do now. They've probably put out a better machine than the inferior one that they've been selling the first gen machines. And secondly, you're going to have a lot better selection of games than the fucking handful of games that they release on launch. So don't buy your shit like this when it first comes out. Don't think that you're going to buy an iPhone of 14 or whatever the fuck it is now and keep it in a box. And in 30 years, it's going to make $3,000 like this lady. That's not going to
No,
happen.
no. Yes, when you get your phone, leave it in the box. Don't use that thing. Leave it in the box.
How
Leave it in the
many?
box for 10 years.
Let me prove a point here. How many do we have? Let me check the chat. Mr. E's a comic book geek. Mr. E's in the chat. I don't know if your brother is, but any comic book geeks that are in the chat, I'm asking you and JJ this question. How many copies of The Death of Superman in the black bag did you buy? How many
Me?
copies?
I only have one.
You bought a copy.
I
want to
do.
know
Yeah, I have
how
one.
many copies you bought.
Now I remember when other people were buying them a bunch, and even at like I don't know what that was like
And
19. What was it?
why?
93.
Why
92?
did you buy that comic book?
Yeah,
Oh, Mr.
they
East, we
thought
only bought one.
no,
Okay.
no, a lot of people at the time were speculating. There were a lot of speculators that
Did
went
you
in and picked them
read
up.
Superman comics when you bought that comic book? Because I
Uh,
didn't.
I did. I mean, I didn't read them like every month, but I did read them. I was always kind of like, if it looks okay, with
I kept
Superman
it in the
or
black
picking them up
bag
and
for years, dude.
oh, I
I
still
kept
have it in the black bag. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure I still
kept
have
it
it
in
in
the
the
black
bag.
bag for years. I never opened it. I bought 2. I opened 1 and saw what happened, saw him get killed or
I didn't like the I didn't like the Dan Jurgens Superman Mr. E Mr. E's talking. He was reading it at the time. I didn't like the Dan Jurgens Superman and with the I think it later had the mullet and I was like, I'm not down with the mullet. I'm not down with that.
I just wasn't a DC kid. The reason I didn't like DC was because they just had silly names.
Booster
Marvel had
Gold.
Marvel had cooler names. I mean, that as a young
Hey,
kid,
you're allowed to like what you like.
that's what
You,
got
you,
me as a young kid was the names.
I really like especially like Stan Lee influenced names that have characters that have alliterative names. So
Yeah,
J. Jonah Jameson, Peter
yeah, I
Parker,
like that
all
kind
of that. I love that stuff. I think it's great. And it's like, that sounds ridiculous. This sounds ridiculous to you. I think it's amazing. All right.
of Hey, can I talk about one more nerdy thing before we get off nerd
Yes.
stuff?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I
Okay,
figure you
so
want to do this one here.
yeah, so I don't know. Let me preface this a little bit for folks that are just now watching, tuning in, whatnot. JJ and I are big nerds. That's how we initially met over comic book stuff and whatnot. But we also he and I also are Magic the Gathering players. Were Magic
Where
the Gathering players. Let me past tense. We
I would
play.
play.
I
I
would
would play
too.
like if we sat down, we were like, let's play Magic. We're like, I don't have any Magic, but
I know
you
I don't
guys
have
come,
any.
I'll play.
I don't know how to do it. I'm not going to go buy any fucking cards.
And
There's
then
no
and
way.
then you know what? No, hold on. And then what happened right there? I'd be like, okay, so here's some Magic. Now I'm gonna have to figure out how to make a deck. Shit, how do I do this again?
I know if you were to be able to give me some pre-made old school decks that I knew,
Yeah, I'll just run it out of the box
but
as is.
yeah, JJ and I played Magic when it first got started, when there were Black Lotuses and there were, Manavox and the dual lands and
Oh yeah.
regrowths and all the stuff. We had all those. My buddy, I remember we were just talking about this the other day in one of our Discord servers, but I remember a friend of ours gave my friend a Black Lotus back when they were like $150. They were the most expensive card then, but he gave him a Black Lotus and was like, "Here." So Caleb had a Black Lotus, and he kept it in a nice little sleeve and whatnot. But he would
Plastic thing. Yeah.
plastic sleeve, and Caleb had the Black Lotus. Well, his buddy wanted it back and threw a big fit and whatnot. And so I remember Caleb taking it back to his house and knocking on his door, and he wasn't at home. So he took that Black Lotus and he took a thumbtack and he pinned that fucking Black Lotus on the door. And we talk about how that Black Lotus is, that one we put a fucking thumbtack through, and that fucking card is hundreds of thousands of dollars now, because that's
Yeah.
what I joked to him. I put up the article and I said, "Boy, that's an expensive fucking thumbtack back in the day," and he just laughed. Well, Magic the Gathering has done something crazy. They've been releasing different series to try to pull people in, and it's almost worked on me a couple of times. They've released the Transformers Magic the Gathering cards that I was like,
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Didn't we talk about that?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then like you
And
turn
I
the
was like,
card over, right? You transform it.
I know, and I was like, oh my god, they got Transformer
Yeah.
Magic card. But then they released Forgotten Realms Dungeons and Dragons Magic cards. And
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I have literally looked for the complete sets and how much the complete sets of those are, because I don't want to play.
Really?
I just want a complete set of those cards. Yeah.
Right.
So they're doing Lord of the Rings cards.
Okay.
Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings cards. And they are making one ring card. Only one card.
For the whole
whole thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna
There
pull
will
the
be-
picture up and then I'll do my picture
Here's
and
the
then you can
card.
just read the story. Yeah, I'll pull it up and then
Okay.
you can read the story.
All right. So The One Ring card is an 001 of 001 card. And there was it's not released yet, but there are high-end Magic the Gathering card players and collectors, and this one guy named Dan Bach has come out and said, I will give $100,000 for the card. There was some stipulations that if you open the card and you wanted to sell it to him, you couldn't like put on social media that you opened the card. You had to like contact him, and then he would say, I have the card. I got it from JJW who opened the card. He's not going to take credit for opening the card. He just didn't want it to get out before.
He wants to preserve the chain of custody,
right?
Authenticity, so he can document the authenticity.
Exactly. So this is what he's offering, $100,000. Well, people started talking, and they were like, "There's only one of these One Ring cards. It needs to be destroyed. It needs to be destroyed." So Dan Bach has redone his offer and says, now I will give you $50,000 and me and you will both fly to a volcano and throw the card in a volcano together. How fucking awesome is that?
I mean, that's pretty awesome. And also, my immediate inclination is like, I will go to a printer and print this thing.
but I mean, the dude's obviously got more money than he's got sense, one of those types of people. But how? I mean, just that.
Yes, go to a volcano. Do it. Do it. You better video it.
Of course, video it, and we all watch it, and he makes $1 million off the fucking video. That's fine. Whatever, $50,000 back off the video.
That would be a great business plan, to be honest.
Yeah, you're going to make more money off this. You just won't have the card anymore. But like you said, you could have a facsimile. Most of the shit that you see in museums is not really. Some of that stuff is not the real stuff. I'll let you know. So I just thought that you would find that that's
pretty fun
gathering.
What do you think? What is this nonsense on this thing say?
It says one ring to rule them all, one ring to bind them, ring to,
right.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's
I'm that's like elfish or whatever. I'm not. Elvish. I'm not super into the Lord of the Rings.
Oh no, that's my favorite shit ever.
Right.
Oh,
of course.
It's Donald Trump. It's 7.
Yeah, let's check. I'm here on. Let me refresh the page here. Come on, CNN. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to. Let's see. Donald Trump. Here it comes. And. Nope. It's still a jet. There's just a jet here, and no, he's not. I'm so disappointed. I thought we would catch it live, Deacon.
I've been hoping.
I'm waiting for riots in New York. Both of those guys should riot. All right, Deke, let's talk about this.
I've got a buddy that lives in New York, and he's originally from Texas. Do you want me to see if I can contact him, see if we can get a man on the street interviewed if the riot?
Yes. See if you could get him like, I'm here to document the riots of the Trump indictment. Anybody here?
He was the guy that I wanted to meet when we went up there, but he was working and I was only there for like 72 hours or some shit. Not even that long, 48 hours.
Oh, Deacons. I mean, look at this. Mr. E says, I'm trusting the mainstream media to tell me when they arrest Trump. That's risky.
That's very true.
What is the alternative?
Well, I mean, the mainstream media desperately needs them to arrest Trump because there is really not a lot going on in the world today. And arresting Trump would be instant advertisement dollars. So you
want to know how slow a news day it was?
Honestly, how can the mainstream media arrest Trump? Get Trump arrested? How can we do that so that we can create a wag the dog story?
Yes, I want to.
Wag the dog.
We need something to get viewership up. I mean, like we've had a couple of good days. You just got to Just got to put Trump on the screen here so people drive by and be like, "What's going on?"
Hey, I didn't do something this morning. Can we do this at the end of the show now? It's going to take just a couple of seconds here, but I
Yeah,
didn't do
yeah.
my.
I have an idea for a segment we can scrap to do whatever you want.
Okay, no, I just a real second, just a a real quick thing. I didn't do it at the first because we started talking about whatever at the beginning, Gwyneth Paltrow's
Yeah.
names. I didn't do my song of the day. So if you will want to
right.
listen to a song today, expand your musical horizons and listen to something very awesome. This was the song that I listened to this morning here at the radio station at full blast. I was trying to sing it, trying being the key word in that sentence. And you should definitely, if you haven't seen this movie, it's a war movie. It's really good, but this is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. I would listen to anyone sing the song Poor Wayfaring Stranger. But this version, I Am a Poor Wayfaring Stranger, which this song is like 200-300 years old. We don't even know where this song originally comes from. This version is by Joss Solvik. He's an actor that's in that movie 1917, and he sings that song. So look up I Am a Poor Wayfaring Stranger by Joss Solvik. Solvik. It is beautiful. Slavic. Yeah, Slavic. My dyslexia is kicking in.
Don't trust me.
No, you're right. It's the L's before the O. I was putting the O before the L. Yeah, he sounds like an angel. So that's a beautiful song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. So there's our your song of the day. I'm a Poor Wayfaring Stranger. Slavic. Joss Slavic.
Okay. All right. So this is we're gonna do the. You see the thing over here before I run it up? Yeah. All right. Here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is. We got another story. This is kind of nuts. This is from ASUSA. So I don't even know who they are, but an alligator apparently knocked on a front door in Florida, and then waited for the owner to answer the door, and then it bit the owner. A 9-foot alligator approached the house of Scott Hollingsworth, who was watching TV with his wife. The animal made some noise at the door, scuff, 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 maybe his tail or his feet or whatever. He opened it to see what it was about, and the reptile bit his leg. I think there's a video here. Oh, no, we're not watching that video. They euthanized it. That's terrible. Let's see. According to local media, Click Orlando, Hollingsworth said he heard a bump at a door. I jumped up and headed over and opened the door, stepped out while trying to reach the lights, and barely got out the door and got my leg clamped on. It started shaking really violently. The 56-year-old man said he had never had any problems with wild animals before. We see those alligators behind our house. Dude, you live in Florida and you know that alligators are hanging out in your backyard and you don't turn the lights on before you answer the door, before you check outside in the dark. You got your leg bit for being stupid, dum-dum.
Oh, you're doing the alligator story. Okay.
We see alligators behind our house. It's a regular thing, but they always keep their distance from us. This dumbass knows there's alligators in his yard and still went outside in the dark.
I was just
right.
by the way that the story was framed, the way the story was framed there, it was I was imagining an alligator on the door, and it was like hitting the door, and the dude walks out, opens the door, and the alligator just bites him at the, it's like ding ding, hello, who is it? Kind of cartoon type of thing. I got one for you here. We talked about this once on the show, and I mentioned this particular park. We talked about, I don't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about diamond hunting, and I mentioned diamond and crystal mines down in Arkansas.
Right.
There was a man down in Arkansas that found this big, ugly rock that ended up being a 3.29 carat diamond. Look at this thing. Can you see it diamond there?
Yeah. No, that looks like a dirty rock.
Looks like a dirty rock, don't it? He said he looked down.
I know what Gwyneth Paltrow would do with that rock.
She'd stick it somewhere, wouldn't she? David Anderson, a Murfreesboro resident and frequent visitor to the Arkansas Park. Murfreesboro is really not too far from here. It's down in Tennessee. Was wet sifting soil in the site when he found this shiny rock. It's the largest diamond found at the park this year and the largest September of a couple of years ago. Anderson's diamond is about the size of an English pea with a light brown color and octahedron shape. It has a metallic shine typical of all diamonds found in the park with partially resorbed surface and lots of inclusions. So it's not one of the shiny diamonds because that takes a lot of work to get the diamonds that are on your ring and stuff. But what I thought was cool is that this guy goes to this park all the time. All right. He's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He drives over to this Arkansas park, which I think this park is about 6 hours from me. So from Murfreesboro, it's probably like still a couple, 2 or 3 hours from this guy. Anderson has been frequenting Crater of Diamonds State Park since 2007. Since 2007, he's found more than 400 diamonds over the past 16 years, including 15 weighing over 1 carat. His other top discoveries include a 3.83 carat yellow diamond and a 6.19 carat white gem unearthed in April of 2014. Anderson typically sells his diamonds locally, and he says he intends to sell this one too. What a freaking great freak. I could do this hobby.
A hobby that you pick up rocks and sell it for tons of money.
Well, it's not just picking up rocks. I'm sure he's in 16 years, he's sifted a lot of freaking rocks to only freaking come up with,
I don't know.
like 15.
I feel like I would get bored. I'd have to have some real successes to hook me in there for all the times that I'm just shaking dirt.
I'm the type of person that I don't think I would get bored with sifting something like that. That to me is so interesting. Me and my daughter would go down to the creek and we would sit down there in those rocks. We would just sit down and she'd pick a spot to sit down in the creek and we would sit there for an hour going through little rocks.
Right.
Just looking at each one. Oh man, I like doing that kind of stuff.
Okay. Let's do some space stuff real quick and then we'll go.
All right.
So you said you had a video that you wanted to play. I think it's related to this other.
Yeah. Let me play you this video first. This was really cool.
Yeah, play the video first.
So
and then I'll pull this
video, and then I'll let JJ explain to you. We have an explanation.
Yeah.
Explain what this craziness in this video is. All right. So let me pull this up. Here we go. All right. So you got this. Let me
bigonate that.
What is that?
Wow, look at that crazy guy. Freaking everybody out. Listen to him. What the crap is that? It's got to be satellite. I mean, meteors or something?
Meteors? It looks like meteors,
It would have burned up a lot more, but I mean, you would think that the satellite pieces would burn up. I mean, it's been in the sky for a long time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So, So explain to me this video, JJ. What the crap is going on?
Well, I mean, my first thought is that
alien land is the mothership. I mean,
oh no, that's not what I was thinking.
Oh, okay, all right. It's not. Aliens.
I was thinking it was. I thought maybe somebody was recreating something here. Hang on, we got this. Here, I thought it was this, to be honest.
Dang! Whoa! One of the greatest pieces of cinema of all time. Of all time.
Whoa!
Dang! That.
I think that's exactly what this was.
David Spade in this.
So that's a meteorite. That's cool. Let me look at you, man.
Look at you, man. It's probably made out of precious metal.
All right. So what was it really?
So in the movie, this meteorite that see the meteorite that Joe Dirt.
Oh yeah, it's very meteorite.
You gotta stop it. We're gonna get freaking copyright.
You're right.
But that meteorite that Joe Dirt's pulling there ends up being, spoiler alert, ends up being a turd, a giant congealed shit.
It was like waste from a space station or an airplane or something, wasn't it?
Or something, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was all this stuff coming out of the sky, JJ?
I think it might have been, well, according to this other story, it was discarded trash from the space station. Now, how much trash do they discard from the space station? Is that what they do? They just dump it out? They just like, oh, here's a candy wrapper. We just toss it. Is that what
Do they
do?
just roll down the window of the space station and throw that shit out? I mean, because the cop pulls me over when I do that shit, man. What the fuck? I mean,
Yeah. No, they're like, hey, this isn't pollution. There's nothing out there. You just toss it. It's fine. It's empty.
burn up. Have you ever been on a railroad and one of the Indian railroads when you got to take a shit? You just open the little hatch and shit on the train track.
That's awful. That's terrible.
Kind of stuff? Yeah, there's a whole big, and they used to do that back in American history too, before we had to have sanitation shit and whatnot. Because
at the, had to have.
What is
lucky to have?
No, there's a term that we use today that in railroads because of that, because you couldn't. They didn't want you doing that at the train stops because they didn't want the train to take off and then sitting there at the train stops is a bunch of fucking shit and piss and stuff. So there's a term that we still, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Right.
So yeah, this ends up being space station waste from the International Space Station.
Now, are they going to admit that they're dumping shit, or would they say, "Oh, it's just trash"? Because this says discarded some trash, but what trash do they have?
I'm sure that it was intended, and this was all monitored, and they were like, "This will burn up before it gets to whatever," and blah blah blah, and it's going to cause some spectacles in the sky, and somebody's going to have some fucking TikTok hits.
Is this astronaut poop, dude? Is this astronaut poop?
It may be alien poop. If you want to get technical, it could be alien poop from the aliens that have colonized the moon. The moon is a giant hollow rock that the aliens have a base inside.
Yes,
the aliens and the Chinese people. The aliens and the Chinese people are breeding worms on the moon. That's what they're doing.
Okay, are they really? All right, guys, we got to the end of the show, but Trump doesn't appear to be indicted.
Yeah,
yet.
will you check real quick? And I'm going to remind everybody that this is the part of the show where I remind you to get a dad joke. And we encourage you to join the servers and get a dad joke and give us your best dad joke. We want to hear your all-time favorite ones over on our Discord server. Join our Discord server and talk to us over there. We have fun. We talk all day long. We have all kinds of different conversations. One of the conversations yesterday, JJ, was about women drivers. And they were talking about scenarios of women drivers being good drivers and women drivers being bad drivers, and everybody was kind of
my wife's here. I'm not right.
Everybody was kind of chiming in on what they thought about women drivers being good or bad. Well, I would just like to say this. I would like to make my point on this. That a lot of women turn into good drivers. So if you're a good driver, watch out for it.
That's all right. That's pretty good. We live in a mysterious world.
Indeed.
Deacon. It's not as like cut and dry as you think. I mean, on this planet, most of the planet's covered in water, and beneath the surface of the ocean, squids, octopus, mysterious monster, real aliens. Right. Are on our planet. They're just in the oceans and stuff. But do you know what lies at the bottom of the ocean and twitches?
No, what lies at the bottom of the ocean and twitches?
A nervous wreck.
That was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too good. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. No, is this today Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday.
Tomorrow's Thursday. Welcome to the show, we're definitely gonna get this guy. We're definitely gonna get this guy arrested tomorrow. So be here tomorrow, 6:30 in the morning. Rumble.com/YouTube. Nope, that's not right. Rumble.com/JUW.
Just hit the button before you make it any worse.
God, can you guys just subscribe? Stop making my job hard. Bye.